Hey everybody, welcome back to Ha-Man's Advice Forum. I'm the Ha-Man, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the true believer. So we're going to review a book that is very, very relevant to what is going on with the protests and riots today. So if you've never heard the of the book, The True Believer, I've mentioned it before on my other channels or videos a couple of times. The whole title of the book is The True Believer, Thoughts on the Nature of Mass Movements. And it was written by a guy named Eric Hoffer in 1951. So as you can see, people were just as fucking crazy then to a certain degree as they are now. And it talks about why people are so inclined to be so extremist. You know why they believe in those ideals. So it's almost like you see a lot of zealots. They're very, very. What would you call it? They're. It's almost like they're in a religious crusade without any sort of religion. And after I read that book, it really opened my eyes because I feel like a lot of the people that I knew were becoming true believers. They didn't believe in I guess what you would call Western ideals or just American ideals that I just thought were shared by the population of the United States, like individual rights, freedom of speech, belief that you can make it and with hard work and perseverance. And it seems like when I was in my late teens, I just met a lot of leftist type people that it seems like a lot of people I knew gravitated towards that. And I was like, why? And I guess I just had to do a lot of soul searching. And I just came across the book, The True Believer, and I read it. And I was like, man, this shit is really insightful. And I was kind of surprised it was written in the 50s. And, I'm going to go over some quotes from The True Believer. So let me just type it in Google Wiki quote and see what comes up. Okay. So let me read the first quote. The less justified a man is in claiming excellence for his own self, the more ready he is to claim all excellence for his nation, his religion, his race, or his holy cause. So if you look at the line, think about what's going on today, right? Do you think that the people who are protesting and doing all the burning and looting, do you think they feel justified in claiming excellence for their own self? Probably not, right? And this is kind of like a lot of the topics and themes that he covers about how once we lose faith in ourselves and our own abilities, that's when our mind becomes more attracted to joining a mass movement because it's not you can't justify your own abilities and your own contributions to society anymore. So you have to be part of a group, and once you're in that group, then you could justify your own existence. And this is why we have all those SJWs who are always want to change every single little thing about society, because when if you ever ask those people like a heart-to-heart conversation, what do you do? Like what are you interested in? What can you contribute to society? They don't have a real answer to that, which is why they're always trying to change every single little thing about other people's business, right? And let's just read another quote. Faith in a holy cause to a considerable extent is a substitute for the lost faith in ourselves. And this is one of the things that I talked about previously, where if you don't teach young kids actual skills in their youth, in the most formative years of their life, when they become adults, they don't give a shit, and they'll want to see society burn down because their quote faith in a holy cause. They're going to join some sort of extremist cause, right? And that them joining that extremist cause is a substitute for the lack of skill, lack of talent, lack of nurturing that they received throughout the young years of their youth, which is why they don't mind seeing society burn down. So it's it's very, very, very interesting. And here's another quote. So, unless a man has talents to make something of himself, freedom is an irksome burden. Of what avail is freedom to choose if the self be ineffectual? We join a mass movement to escape individual responsibility, or in the words of the ardent young Nazi, to be free from freedom. It was not sheer hypocrisy when the rank-and-file Nazis declared themselves not guilty of all the enormities that they committed. They considered themselves cheated and maligned when made to shoulder responsibility for obeying other orders. Had they not joined the Nazi movement in order to be free from responsibility? So think about that one. So yeah, man, you guys just read this book and you'll just see line for line that this is just describing current events today, because a lot of the people that you see protesting are just people who have lost faith in themselves, so they're clamoring to join a cause, and the cause that they've joined is just to burn and get rid of society, because they see it as a holier, kind of like a holy cause that has a lot of religious undertones, but even though it's not religious at all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So check it out. You can buy it on Amazon. I think you get it for free if you just do a Google search. But that's pretty much it. So if you have any thoughts about The True Believer by Eric Hoffer, write a comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time.